How are you ding-dong diddly-doing there, gamerinos? I hope you're having a flanderific day. So, I know that I start this map all the fucking time, and I feel like just nothing ever happens with it. I feel like we've had 2 false starts on this one. But this one is for realsies. Alright? There's no bonus Terraria stream or anything like that. Or we're doing something else now. No, this is happening, people. It's happening. It's here. It's now. It's fab. It's wow. So yeah. I finally saw Madame Web, and oh my lord, do I have thoughts. Lots and lots and lots and lots of thoughts. I'll wait a minute to share those, though, because I'll wait for people to filter in so I don't have to constantly tell the story over. But I will tell you, overall, very not good. Very not good. I know, you're shocked. You're shocked. You're like, what? Madame Web wasn't a cinematic masterpiece? What are you talking about, Ultra? What do you mean? I can't believe it. I can't believe that the people that brought us Morbius could possibly fuck something up. You know? But yeah, it was bad. And how? I saw this hilarious meme. I posted it in Slicks's Discord. So it's what would actually happen in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League with Arkham Batman. And it's got Batman like on the bench, and you know Harley Quinn's doing her monologue, and she goes ahead and like is ready to pull the trigger, and then all of a sudden, like, the red effect or whatever comes over her head, and she ends up shooting Batman on the armor, and then she's like, oh fuck, and Batman, like, breaks out and starts beating the fucking shit out of all of them. And, like, the entire time, this, like, very calming, smooth jazz music is playing, and then it, like, ends with all of them dead, and Batman's just staring down at them. It tickled my funny bone, I tell you what. Because it's just... it's so ridiculous that these, like, at best B-list, at worst C-list villains could possibly pull this shit off. And, you know, the only reason that I'm giving them B-list status is because Harley Quinn and Deadshot are in there. Even though I don't find Harley Quinn to be the most compelling character, I mean, she's alright. Let's be honest. Most of the hype surrounding Harley Quinn has to do with Margot Robbie. And understandable. Very, very understandable is all I have to say. But yeah, I don't know. Like, she's got her interesting moments, but she's no, like, A-lister. Let's get real here. If you tell people that they could get a Harley Quinn movie, a Flash movie, a Batman movie, or like, I don't know, another shot at a Green Lantern movie. I'm telling you, well, I don't know. Maybe Green Lantern might lose that one just because the one with Ryan Reynolds was so bad, unfortunately. But like, if you could assure people that it would be a good Green Lantern movie, like, it would be really good compared to the other one. Well, actually, no, it would be really good, because even compared, if it was really good compared to it, that still doesn't mean a whole lot. But if it was just a flawless movie done about Green Lantern, people would rather see that than a Harley Quinn movie. Like I said, she's interesting, she's a good side character, but she's just not all that compelling on her own. Unlike Batman, who is just like one of the most compelling characters fucking ever. Which is why they make a ton of movies about Batman. And the Harley Quinn movie was not very good. I watched it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was not good. Really not good was the overall impression, but it didn't steam my hams, I guess. I don't know. They made Huntress kind of lame. It kind of reminds me of, like, if you've seen Spider-Verse, the second one, where they've got Ben Reilly and he's just this like super heightened version of himself, where he's just like, oh, I'm sad, I have emotional trauma. That's what they did to Huntress, and I thought that was stupid. Like, yeah, she's got that going for her, but really, you made her so one-dimensional. When she could definitely be a super compelling character. Honestly, they should have just done a traditional Birds of Prey movie. It probably would have done better. Because, you know, people really like Black Canary and Huntress and Batgirl. I feel like there's someone else from the Birds of Prey. I don't know if the police officer, I forget her name, because it was just a stereotype loose cannon cop on the edge. It's like, you know, if I wanted to see a loose cannon cop on the edge, I would watch, like, I don't know, Dirty Harry or something like that. Like, I don't know why you had to do the whole, I don't know. It's just, everything felt so stereotyped in Birds of Prey. And get ready, because you're going to hear that a lot when I start talking about Madam Web. You're going to hear that a lot. Definitely one of my biggest complaints. No, not even that. Well, there's just so much to complain about with that movie. I'm like bursting at the seams to keep it in until like Joshy or Slicks or someone appears who would want to hear about it. You know, I need to rewatch Lord of the Rings. It's been such a long time. It feels like a crime. I will watch it for Wrath, for Ruin, and the Red Dawn. It's like one of my favorite scenes from the entire trilogy. Oh. If you know, you know. And if you don't... The movies have been out for how long now and you haven't watched them? Shame on you. And it's like, you know, don't give me that, well, I'm not that into fantasy, so I probably wouldn't like it. Well, you know what? It's so much more than just a fantasy. Like, it is fantasy. Absolutely. It's the thing that, like, inspired pretty much all other fantasy to come. It is the GOAT, the godfather of fantasy. But it's so much more. It's just a great story at the end of the day, even if you're not into, like, you know, wizards and orcs and shit like that. It's like, you can find so much substance in that movie beyond, you know, wizards and hobbits and Gollum and shit like that. Plus, and I want to call G out for this. It's a very, very religious text, actually. So, I think Jesus would be a little disappointed if you didn't read it. Yeah, I have to tell G that Jesus is very disappointed in him for not watching Lord of the Rings. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just put this into perspective for you. Canonically speaking, Gandalf is not a human. He's an angel. They have a different name. I forget the name for it, because it's never mentioned in, like, the movies. It's only mentioned in, like, the books. But anyway, he's this angel created by the god of Middle-earth, and he's tasked with protecting humanity, basically. So when the guy sent by God to protect humanity sacrifices himself and dies so that the Fellowship can escape with the ring to, you know, save the world, Gandalf doesn't really die. You know, he reconnects with a piece of himself that he hasn't been with for like a long time, if that makes sense. You know, because he's got his human form and he's got his, like, his angel form, and he basically reconnected with that when he quote-unquote died. Which is why he comes back as Gandalf the White. Very, very reminiscent of, like, Jesus, I would say. And not only that, if you go and watch the movies, pretty much any time that everything looks hopeless, where the armies of man are sure to fall to the armies of evil, what happens? Out comes Gandalf. But it's never just Gandalf coming in to, like, you know, beat up the big bad guy. Gandalf always brings the right people to the fight. Look at Helm's Deep. They were like, we're gonna die here. There's nothing we can do. And of course, Aragorn remembered what Gandalf had told him, that he would be back. And to wait for his signal, basically. And then he was like, well, let's just ride out. We're gonna die anyway, right? He had faith in Gandalf. And then what happened? Gandalf shows up with the Riders of Rohan. And they go in and he blinds the orcs with his light, I guess. With his light magic. And then the armies of man win. Overcoming impossible odds. So yeah, that's just a little taste for you. So good. It's so good. Best story ever written. And then they went and soiled Tolkien's good name with the Rings of Power, which probably are making him turn over in his grave right now, are definitely making him turn over in his grave right now. Wow. That was not clean at all, but cool. Now, you see how dirty that was? And it's like, no, it's fine, it's clean. It's clean enough for me. And then, on that wall over there, it was just like, oh yeah, you forgot this tiny piece of dirt, this little microscopic piece. This game just makes no sense sometimes. It's very, very strict about some things, and other things it's just like, oh, whatever. It'll be fine. Oh, it'll be fine. Case in... Oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say case in point right here. Okay, we got this bench too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. There we go. Oh man. We're so close. Wait, did I get this other gate? Looks like it. Yes, and yes. Okay, cool. There we go. One last pillar. Oh boy, this is going to be a pain in the ass, because I remember this, the other side being really annoying. There we go. Oh, here we go. Nice. So, I guess now we should start on the floors here. Oh, that's... I was wondering what was in my way. Kind of mopped myself into a corner. I wonder how strict it's going to be about this floor. I'm hoping not very, but I've got a feeling it's probably going to be very. They're pretty particular about their floors in this game. I don't know if maybe that's because it's the #1 thing that everyone fucking pressure washes. That could have something to do with it. Oh, this isn't like its own... Oh wait, maybe it is, and maybe it's just being really annoying. No, alright, maybe it's not. I thought that maybe they were going to do it like tile by tile, but yeah, I think it's just the entire floor. Wait, what? How? There we go, thank you. I was starting to become concerned. Hey, G. Nah, you're good. I can barely remember to do it half the time, too, so... You're in good company here. I finally went to see Madam Web. And wow, that movie is, like... It's bad. Oh, and I also have some really, really upsetting news. I'm not sure how to say this. Because it's a pretty serious, pretty heavy topic. But I have cancer. Yeah, it's in my eyes and it's spreading to my brain. The doctors say it was most likely caused from exposure to Madam Web. But yeah, it's real bad, man. Was it laughable? Oh my god. I wish Slicks was here, because I kind of want to save it for for when he's here, but whatever. Like, the movie... Got him. And let me just tell you, that acting right there was fucking way better than anything in that movie. God damn, if you compared my performance there to anyone in that movie, you'd be giving me the Oscar. There's just no character development until there is character development, and like, some things just happen because like plot dictates that it must happen. Like, perfect example. She figures out that the bad guy is from Peru, or no, not that he's from Peru, that he visited Peru, and that's where he got his Spider-Man powers. So she's like, I gotta go to Peru. Why does she have to go to Peru? We don't know. Plot, you know? So she gets on this plane and she goes to Peru. Meanwhile, she is a wanted fugitive from the law for kidnapping and assaulting officers and Grand Theft Auto and yes, attempted vehicular homicide, loads and loads of property damage. Anyway, she's got a longer rap sheet than insert rapper's name here. But anyway, regardless, hey Tweedle. Oh, nice. Well, I'm talking about Madam Web. So anyway, she's got this rap sheet going, right? And she just casually goes on this international flight to Peru, I guess. Right? Just leaving. So the premise is that nondescript Spider-Man, who's like an evil business dude or whatever. He's not Peter Parker. This is before Peter Parker. But he has Spider-Man powers because he found this spider in Peru. Anyway, he's trying to kill these 3 girls because they end up becoming spider women. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even know who any of these spider women are, so I can't be like, oh, it was, you know, like Spider Woman, and, because it wasn't like Jessica Drew, or, there's another one that I know. Oh, whatever. I guess I don't know any other spider people besides... Well, and Spider-Gwen, I guess, but she's not in this movie either. But anyway, they don't have their Spider-Man powers. They're just normal girls at this point. No, she's in this. She's like a D-list Spider-Man character. Oh, you probably can't hear me because of ads. Sadness. Infinite sadness, but I'm making money, so happiness. Infinite happiness. I'm so conflicted. Whatever, I'll just wait till he gets back to give him his answer. I'll never know the truth because gummy worms? What? Oh. So I take it you're back? No? Maybe? Possibly? Well, I guess I'll continue to explain the plot while we're waiting on Tweedle. But he's trying to get these spider women who are not yet spider women because he can see that in the future they're going to end up killing him for some reason. So he's like, I'm going to kill them first. Because that's the logical move one would make. If he was smart, he would have been like, oh, I am going to help these women so that they'll be on my side and they won't want to kill me. It's a very Lex Luthor plan, if you ask me. But that's why it would work. You're back. Okay, good. Madam Web is like a D-list Spider-Man character. She's like this elderly woman who's blind, but she can, like, see into the future, basically. But instead, she's like probably in her like 20s, 30s, and she's not blind, and she's randomly helping out these girls who are going to be murdered by evil non-generic or evil, generic, not Spider-Man, who's this business guy who can see into the future that these women are going to get Spider-Man powers and kill him. Gist of the movie. But anyway, she goes on this international flight while she's got this rap sheet a mile long. People think she's a bad guy or whatever. And she just casually goes on this international flight and is in Peru. She meets up with Master Miyagi in the cave that was in Empire Strikes Back on Dagobah. And Master Miyagi dunks her into this Lazarus pit that is in the dark side cave of Dagobah. And she finds out that she can do all of these freaky mind things, like seeing into the future and projecting images, or projecting herself in multiple places at once. And I guess she pulls an Empire Strikes Back again, and she just teleports back to New York. Like, it's never explained. Like, last you see her, she's in Peru, and then it cuts away and, like, the girls are in trouble or whatever, and then she's just there, like, pulling her car into the driveway. It's like, wait, what? Me and the girl I saw it with, we looked at each other and we're like, wait, what? She's just here now? Okay. Yeah, no, there were so many fucking plot holes in this movie. And at the end, so she tried to commit vehicular homicide like 2 times in the movie. She stole a car at least 3 times in the movie. She probably indirectly killed, I don't know, we'll be nice and say 5 people, even though that could be more. She 100% committed premeditated murder on nondescript Spider-Man. And at the end of the movie, they're just like, oh, alright, I guess you get to go home now. Not to mention, like, while she technically didn't commit battery on the police officers, the police officers damn well sure thought she did. Yeah, all in a day's work, really. And then on top of this, I'm sorry, this movie just, it steams my hams, I tell you what. She just decides to help these girls. Like, alright, it makes sense. Like, this guy is going to kill them, so she wants to help them, you know. So she goes and gets them out of danger or whatever. But what I don't get is why she continues to, like, help them afterwards, because it's not like, so she's a paramedic or whatever, so obviously she wants to help people, but like, you take a look at Batman or Spider-Man, those are the best 2 examples I can think of. There's an inciting incident that makes them want to do more, you know what I mean? Like, Spider-Man, he used his powers selfishly, and it ended up getting Uncle Ben killed. So he's trying to make sure that no one else dies while he can, you know, prevent that. Batman watched his parents get killed in front of him, and he was powerless to do anything about it. So he put on the Batman costume so that he could more or less save people where he couldn't, you know, like, save his parents. With Madam Web, the closest 2 things that you get to an inciting incident would be she tells this coworker not to drive the police or the ambulance because, like, she just has a bad feeling about it. She sees that he's gonna get, like, T-boned and die. So she's like, oh, don't do it, and he ends up doing it anyway and dies. But it's not like this was someone super close to her. It was just like some coworker. Which, I mean, I know, sounds a little harsh. But, you know, for, like, Batman and Spider-Man, those were some pretty, like, personal, you know, close people to Bruce and Peter. Like, it meant more, you know. Yeah. I don't even remember coworker's name either. Like, that's how insignificant he was to the movie. You know, like, I think everyone knows Thomas and Martha Wayne, Ben Parker. This is just coworker. And the other thing, and this is gonna sound fucking ridiculous, but it's true, she saves a bird from dying. She's like, oh, what does it matter? You can't change the future. And she gets a premonition of a bird slamming into the window and dying. So she opens the window and the bird flies in, and instead of, like, killing itself. It's like, really? Those were your inciting incidents? You saw Madam Web? I thought I was the only one. Oh. Well, there you go. But yeah. You remember seeing it just, like, somewhere? Yeah. It's just such a bad movie. And not to mention, the dumbest part, what I thought they were going to do at some point was, like, find out that Madam Web is the reason they get their powers. You know, like, being around her leads to some situation where they get their Spider-Man powers, and then the flash, or the vision that we see at the beginning of the movie, where, you know, evil Spider-Man is surrounded by, like, you know, the Spider-Women that are gonna end up killing him, I guess. Sorry, I've lost my train of... Yeah, oh yeah, like, that's where we were gonna end up at the end of the movie, but no, they don't get their powers at all. There's, like, the only Spider-Man action you get is just watching nondescript Spider-Man climb around on walls. He doesn't have, like, web shooters. There's not a lot of, like, cool action fight scenes. Literally 2 encounters with this guy end with him getting hit by a car. And it was hilarious. The funniest shit ever. She goes and she steals this car, right? And she's driving over to this diner because that's where the girls are at, and she gets this vision that evil Spider-Man is coming for them. So she's got to rush over there to save them. And I leaned over and I was telling the girl I was with, oh yeah, she's going to go ahead and she's going to run him over with the car as a joke. And then all of a sudden, I shit you not, like, everything's going, evil Spider-Man walks in, and the fucking car goes right through the building. And me and her died laughing. Like, I said that as, like, oh, a joke, you know, something so possibly stupid that, nah, they wouldn't do that, something like that. That's just, it's too stupid. It's too ridiculous. Anything this in the movie universe? It is. It's in the Sony universe. It's in the same universe as Morbius. I think. It might just be, if not, it's its own continuity, and it's not. But I'm pretty sure it's in the continuity with Morbius. And also, can I just say, the stereotyping of all of these characters is just so atrocious. You've got, well, first of all, there's 3 girls. Only 2 of them really have anything to do, and it's the it's kind of like the shy girl and like the bitchy girl. I don't know how better to describe them. And then there's like this kind of like nerdy girl, and like she's got this shirt on because, again, girl I was with and I were laughing at her shirt that said, "I eat math for breakfast." So those were that is all you need to know. That is their character. There's nerd, shy, uneasy girl, and bitch. And nerd didn't even have anything to do for the majority of the movie. She like did some mathy stuff like twice, and then the rest of the time it was just the other 2 doing shit. Watching Venom, liking it, and there was this. I gotta continue this on my phone. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The Venom movies are not good movies, but they're not bad movies, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, and then for no reason, like, there's no character development whatsoever. Like, they're all, you know, the same bitch, nerd, shy girl. But towards the end of the movie, they, for whatever reason, get, like, weird character growth, and, you know, like, the bitchy girl isn't as bitchy, and the shy girl's a little bit more brave, and the nerd still has nothing to do. But it's like, wait, when did they become like a family or whatever? Like, they hated each other for the majority of the movie, and there was no real bonding moments. They just didn't, or like, they just tried not dying together. That was it. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good way to describe the Venom movies. I don't like how they did my boy Cletus Cassidy, though. Oh, I'm sure Nerd Girl will get her own movie. Because they're going to continue to make movies that no one wants to see for some reason. Like, no one wanted Madam Web. Let's get real. And, actually, I do have to say the first, like, script idea for Madam Web did sound interesting. It was going to be like a multiverse thing, and she was going to help like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man with something. I was like, oh, that actually sounds like that could be a good movie, you know? Give a little bit more redemption to Andrew Garfield's meh Spider-Man. I mean, you can to a certain extent. But the thing is, while Iron Man wasn't a huge star until the movies, people knew who Iron Man was. Like, maybe not to the extent that they knew, like, Batman or Spider-Man or Captain America, but he still had somewhat of a following, you know. Whereas, like, Madam Web has no following. No one knows who the fuck Madam Web is, like, until they had to do the research to find out who the fuck she... Well, I should make myself clear. The people who wrote the movie did no research whatsoever into who Madam Web was, and it's very evident if you take a look at the comics that they just wanted to basically mirror... And I know this is going to sound wacky as shit, but they wanted to mirror the MCU with the Marvels. I don't know why you'd want to mirror the Marvels, considering that was one of the biggest failing movies probably of all time. Definitely up there. But yeah, that's, I think, why we got this movie. I mean, I guess, yeah. I find it hard to make Madam Web an interesting movie, because if you're unfamiliar with the character, like I said, she's an elderly blind lady who can see into the future. A cool side character, yeah, sure. But, like, her own movie? I don't know about all that. But they sure gave it to her. For some reason. And man, did it not pay off. It's like, maybe you should stick to doing shit people want to see. I don't know, make your own continuity with the Spider-Verse. Do another live-action Spider-Verse thing. Add in, like, Ben Reilly and Spider-Gwen, live-action Miles Morales. Like, come on. Think. Use the head ornament that you call your brain. Well, don't worry, because Madam Web had no good concepts either. Don't worry about that. This was just a stink fest from start to finish. They attempted to do comedy in the movie too, and every time they did it, it was so painfully unfunny. But, like, there'd be one time where someone would laugh, and we just started laughing at the people who were laughing because it just wasn't funny. And then there was one scene where everyone was laughing, and except for us, and we just started laughing at them again. It was the scene where Madam Web goes, I wonder if I can climb walls. I've never tried. And you know she's not going to do it. Like, she's going to fall down. Because, like, it would be well, I shouldn't say that. It would be a more interesting movie if she had actual Spider-Man powers, and we know that we're not going to get anything interesting. So she starts trying to climb up the wall, and she falls down, like, on her face. Well, not even on her face. She just kind of pathetically falls onto the floor. And everyone was laughing, and it just was not funny. Like, at all. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it took cues from the Marvels, which was a widely hated movie. I know there's some very loud MCU stands out there that will defend the Marvels and Captain Marvel to the death. But the fact is, the movie just sucked. And there's nothing they can do about that, except for be mad and stay mad. But yeah, well, actually, there's just so many things to point at with the failure of this movie. Like I said, took cues from Captain Marvel, which was just a terrible idea. You should have never taken cues from that. Unless if it's what not to do. Yeah, you know, I thought Monica Rambeau was alright, until the episode where she got her powers. I thought that was the stupidest shit. And she also said the dumbest fucking line in the MCU when she told Wanda that the people that she tortured will never know the sacrifice she made for them. The sacrifice of leaving behind her make-believe children. Yeah. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Wanda and Monica. Literally go fuck yourself. I will say Miss Marvel seems interesting. I don't know if I'd give her her own movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing her in more stuff. I like the actress a lot. I think she's, like, pretty based, which is cool. And I would like to point out that this, I don't know, how old is she? Maybe like 20? Sounds about right. Like maybe 20-year-old girl has more cojones, more balls than so many actors in the MCU. Like, props on you. Props on you. And not only that, like, you actually do a good job portraying the character. Like, when I first heard they were going to do Miss Marvel, I really didn't give a shit. I was like, alright, whatever. I know this character exists, but I don't know anything about her. You know, I wasn't interested in her at any point, so I don't see why I'd be interested in her now. But after seeing, I used to know her name. But anyway, regardless, after seeing her portrayal of the character, I kind of like her. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, no, I definitely got to give props to her. That was... And I'm pretty sure most people agree on this point. She was probably the only redeeming quality of the Marvels. But anyway, we're not talking about the Marvels. I've never seen the Marvels. And I never will. But on top of Madam Web taking cues from that failing movie, the director of the movie literally only directed one other movie before. A movie called Toast, I think is what it was called. And while the movie did alright, it you know, it wasn't a huge success, but it wasn't like hated. I just don't know why you would get a director who has only ever directed one movie before to direct your blockbuster movie. You might as well just go get someone out on Fiverr. I'm not saying you gotta get fucking Martin Scorsese, but maybe get someone who has directed, I don't know, at least 10 movies, 5 movies, something like that, with at least 3 decently successful ones. And then, like I said, the character is just lame. Madam Web is super lame. No one gives a shit. So you're kind of doomed for failure there. Considering seeing into the future is really her only superpower. Except for, I guess, she can split into different people. Ooh. But she only does that at the end of the movie. And then, like, she gets wombo comboed out of that move in like 3 seconds. And I mean, I guess seeing into the future could be kind of cool, but the way that it's handled is just kind of dumb. Like, stuff will just be happening, right? And then it'll be like the premonition, but you won't know it's the premonition until she gets like stabbed or whatever, and then she's back into like real life, and it's like, oh, and then the same series of events play out. So it's kind of dumb. Well, of course she alters it so that the thing she saw doesn't happen, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I thought that was dumb, and stereotyping of characters was dumb. The villain and his motivation were dumb. Oof. Sorry. And I guess there's kind of this subplot with her mother. Like, all you know is that, like, she died during childbirth or something. And for whatever reason, Madam Web resents her mother for dying at childbirth or something. And then... Hey, One True Nikolai. I am talking about Madam Web. The horrible, god-awful movie that I just recently saw. What's going on with you? Thank you for stopping on in and saying hi. But yeah, she gets like this flashback or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, my mom went into the Amazon rainforest looking for spiders because it was to help me because I had some shit that was wrong with me or whatever." And she it's like, "Oh, I love you, Mom." And it's like, Well, why did you resent her for dying during childbirth, you bitch? Damn. Like, that's rough. I hate you for dying. Dying having me, no less. Well, I mean, to be fair, she gets stabbed. But I don't think she knows. A shot, maybe? I don't remember. Not generic evil, not Spider-Man does it to her. Right? Like, what do you mean you died during childbirth? Pathetic. Oh, just everything made it bad. It was just so ill-conceived. That, you know, that is the perfect bow that I'm gonna put on Madam Web. It was just ill-conceived. I don't know who greenlit this and thought it was a good idea. Like, Morbius was bad, but at least Morbius you could look at and go, ha ha ha, he he he, he said it's Morbin time. There wasn't even a it's Morbin time moment. It just took itself too seriously, which definitely didn't help. And it's just, the villain is just so lame. Just so damn lame. Like, I really, really don't know how they could have made him any blander. He's just an evil businessman who gets superpowers and, like, wants to hurt people so that he doesn't lose his power. Nikolai, to say that Madam Web dropped the ball would imply that Madam Web picked up the ball in the first place. I mean, it can be cool. It can be cool. Like, I'm not saying that evil businessman is always the wrong move. It is in a lot of cases. Wonder Woman 1984. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. But like Lex Luthor is a great example of an evil businessman who's cool. He's super smart. He's threatening. He's always got some evil scheme. He's kind of the villain Batman, if you think of it. Like, he's super smart. He's not as strong as Batman, but he's got the tech to make himself as strong as Batman. So, again, super compelling villain. But literally the only thing about this guy was he doesn't want to lose his power and he doesn't want to die, so he's got to kill the girls. There's nothing more to him. Mark from accounting. Yeah, pretty much. Well, that was kind of the vibe of Lex Luthor in the in his like latest Superman movies, where they kind of made him Mark Zuckerberg. Like, I don't know. I want my Justice League cartoon Lex Luthor. That's Lex Luthor. Let's see, was there anything else that I found horribly atrocious from this movie? Oh, there's one scene. It's the scene where she finds out that evil Spider-Man is coming to kill the girls. She like has the premonition that they're gonna die. So evil Spider-Man comes at them, you know, without his Spider-Man costume on. He's just a dude who steps onto the train, right? And then after, like, Madam Web goes and, like, helps them get to safety off the train, you see evil Spider-Man, like, crawling on top of the train in his Spider-Man costume. And I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? When did he strip down butt naked and change into his Spider-Man costume? When the fuck did this happen? We just saw him last like 2 seconds ago. Does he have super speed? And then there's this other time at the end of the movie where she's like deflecting these explosions, like I guess they're rockets, because part of her premeditated murder of the bad guy was to lead him into this like explosives factory and then like set off all the fireworks to try making the building explode and like come down on him. She's like deflecting these rockets that are coming at her with like a trash can lid, more or less, this like big hunk of metal. And it's like, whoa, I thought you didn't have super speed or super strength, because I'm pretty sure you would need super strength to be able to deflect those and not totally die. A rocket. Like not like an RPG rocket, but like a firework rocket. Which, I mean, is, again, it may not sound like that much, but I doubt highly that, unless if you're super duper jacked, which she is not, that a rocket being launched at you, like a firework rocket, is going to at least knock you back a little bit if you were to try deflecting it with a hunk of metal. You're just baffled? Yeah. So was I. My exact words when that happened were, oh, so I guess she does have super strength. and you know what? Even if you wanted to play devil's advocate with me here and say, oh no, a person could reasonably block that, you know, because it's not going that fast or whatever, I would say a woman of her size would not be able to easily block that like she did. Maybe someone who's more like Chris Hemsworth size could do that, could get away with that. But not scrawny Jessica Carpenter, maybe is her name? Something like that. I don't quite remember, but yeah. No fucking way does she block that without super strength. No way. Oh boy, this is the one. We're almost there. I can't believe it. I thought that, like, I would have had to do more to get the pop-up. But I guess if they're just counting all of the rails as one thing... Oh, I gotta end the stream here soon. I just realized I've been going on for a long-ass time. Well, a long-ass time for starting as late as I did, I should say. So, what's the worst movie y'all have seen recently? I doubt it'll top Madam Web, but... you haven't seen any movies you've disliked recently? You probably haven't been watching stuff Disney's put out then. Get wrecked, Disney. Get wrecked. Infinity Chamber. I've never heard of Infinity Chamber. What's it about? An infinite chamber? It's kind of hard to tell, like, what parts of this are clean and what parts aren't, just because of the concrete that's dirty behind it. Oh, okay. Okay, that, I don't know how I feel about that. It could be interesting, I guess. How's it done poorly? Is it just lame? Oh, okay. Yeah, I see how that's lame. It was all just a dream. One of the worst tropes ever. That's how it felt watching Madam Web. They did that shit every 5 minutes. Like, something would happen and it would be like, oh, but it was just a vision of the future. Yeah. Some people just don't know when to quit, you know? Like they just gotta keep pushing the same concept down your throat. Yeah, that doesn't really sound fun. It just sounds dumb. It's like it's basically you're just getting baited the entire movie. With no real satisfying conclusion. I mean, it sounds dumb to me. If you're gonna fool the audience, you need to at least make it good. Son of Gary Busey, I missed so much on this. You know what's a movie I actually want to see? Is a Red Hood movie. A really good one. Because, you know, Jason's been done dirty so much. I feel like he would have a really good, like, story to tell. I feel like they should switch it up a bit. You know, like, maybe change his like, origin a little bit. Maybe he gets killed by someone else instead of the Joker. I don't know. Might be kind of cool. Because, like, the problem with Jason Todd is that he's a man who needs closure, but he'll never be able to get the closure of killing the Joker because he's the Joker. And Joker's got hella plot armor. So if you made him get killed by someone else who's not as important, you could let him kill the guy and kind of go back to doing his thing or something. Maybe he could work with the Bat family more because, like, he doesn't feel the need to kill, like, everybody, which is kinda more or less where he's at in the comics. He just kinda kills anybody who he feels like has it coming, you know. Talk about a character that has, like, really good bones, but just no one has taken the next step with him. There's a good, compelling story there. Because it starts out so good, you know. Robin dies, he comes back, you know. He's angry at Batman and Joker and all that, you know. But it's just, it never goes anywhere. I feel like he could be, and I know Slicks would find this to be disgraceful, But I feel like he could be way more interesting than Dick Grayson. Alright guys, I think I'm about to wrap it up. I know that this says that this was going to be the for realsies last episode. Well, you know, I guess I could just title the next episode DLC maps and extras, and then just finish this up on that episode. Oh, that's genius. And then just not talk about it. That's what I'm gonna do. But I do want to finish this last rail. No, don't, no! You caught me. Oh, God. My nefarious scheme here. Alrighty. Nice. Oh, could I just finish? You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna finish this side. I'm tired. Like, really tired. But it's just so close to being done. There we go, this looks pretty clean. Oh Lord. I thought there was only going to be 3 strips, not 4. Why is this not coming off very easily? This is my top tier pressure washer. You know, let me just... Yes. Just hit it with a firebomb of cleaner. Thank God I've got like a million of these multi-purpose cleaners. I don't know if maybe stone cleaner would be better, but whatever. I don't know, maybe I'm cheesing this here, but it just makes it so much easier. I'm hoping this is going to be really generous with me. As generous as I'm being with this multi-purpose cleaner. Nice. It is. It's going to be very generous with me. Good. Actually, you know what? Seeing how quickly all of this went with the multi-purpose cleaner. Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to get all of this. No, I am way over time. I just realized. Half an hour, shit. The bubbling noises are very nice. Wonder how generous it's gonna be with the whatchamacallit here, the track. Not very generous, okay. Whatever. We'll hit that in the next one. It'll be fine. I'm more after the pavement anyway. Oh, whoops. Like, this isn't doing anything. Uh-oh, I didn't do a good enough job. Oh wait, maybe I did. Never mind. No, I didn't do a good enough job. What's the last thing? Alright, see ya, Tweedle. Well, I'm about to end here in like 2 seconds, actually. So, we should be roughly leaving at about the same time. Thank you so much for stopping on in, Tweedle. Thank you for chatting with me. Thank you to G for stopping on in and chatting with me. And thank you to, let's see here. Nikolai. Thank you. And thank you to anyone else who may have been tuning in and didn't chat with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the YouTube crowd who's going to like and subscribe, god damn it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.